Heat dies fast on Ghost Mountain, especially in November, so when I touched that ceramic mug on the floor and it burned my fingertips, my blood ran cold. It wasn't just warm, it was hot. Whoever slaughtered these men didn't leave hours ago. They are still here, watching me. Let's rewind 20 minutes. The storm had finally passed. I strapped on my pack for a routine patrol, just checking fences. That was the plan. But Duke, he was off. He wasn't tracking a deer. He led me deep into the blind sector of my property, to an old trapper's shack I hadn't visited in years. It was a kill box. I stepped inside, boots crunching on broken glass. The smell hit me first. Bleach and copper, someone trying to clean up blood. The room was a mess of tactical gear, a sleeping bag, and that coffee mug, still steaming, mocking me with its heat. On the table, an open logbook, dates, coordinates. Then I saw the wall, a large topographic map pinned with hunting knives. My heart skipped a beat. It was a tactical grid of my land. Every trail I walked, every camera I installed, marked with red circles. They knew my perimeter better than I did. Why go to this much trouble for a retired ghost? Next to the map, photos, dozens of them. Me chopping wood, Duke sleeping, taken with long-range glass weeks ago. They had been studying me. Suddenly, the military radio on the table crackled. A green light blinked. A cold voice. Echo 2 report. Do you have visual on the target? I didn't answer. Checkmate. I looked at Duke. He stood statue still in the doorway. He didn't growl. He let out a sharp huff of air. Contact. Someone was close. Not miles away. Here, inside the perimeter. I peered through a crack in the wood. The fog was thick, but I saw them. 3 shapes. No flashlights. I saw the faint green glow on their faces. Night vision goggles. These were hunters. They were encircling the shack to collect their coffee. And my head. 5 rounds in my rifle versus squad with night vision. Suicide. I needed chaos. I grabbed a bottle of high-proof cleaning alcohol and opened the propane stove valve. I poured a trail from the hissing stove to the back window. Time to go, buddy. We were going to give them a warm welcome. We waited by the window. The door handle groaned. Someone whispered, "Breach on 3. 1. I flipped the Zippo lid. Clink. 2. I spun the wheel. Flame erupted. 3. The door kicked open. Go! I dropped the lighter and vaulted out just as the world turned white. The blast sucked the air out of the clearing. I hit the wet earth hard. Behind me, the shack screamed. Fire spewed into the fog. I heard screams. Flash out. Man down. The sudden fire blinded their night vision. It was our only advantage. Move, Duke, move! We went to ground behind a fallen oak. The burning shack cast dancing shadows. They regrouped. 4 lights left. They were pissed. A voice commanded, "Spread out. Thermal sweep. Find him and kill the dog first." Kill the dog first. That woke up a dark part of my brain. But thermal meant darkness was useless. We were glowing beacons. I looked at the cold mud. Predator tactics. I smeared freezing slush over my face and coated Duke's fur. We had to become the mud. The flanker drifted too wide, checking behind boulders. Mistake. I signaled Duke, "Stay." I flowed like water, silent steps. I slipped behind the oak he was circling. I could smell his aftershave. I didn't use my gun. Gunshots draw a crowd. I reached out from the shadow. He went limp. I dragged him into the roots. I stripped his radio and his thermal monocle. Then I found a folded paper in his vest. A contract. Target, Marcus Vance. Priority, eliminate. Note at bottom, make it look like an accident. No witnesses, especially the dog. Rage is a cold fire. I raised the stolen monocle. The world turned blue. And there they were, 2 bright orange heat signatures, thinking they were invisible in the smoke. Poor bastards, they brought flashlights to a gunfight. I brought the sun. I signaled Duke to flank left. I took the right. That left the leader. He ran towards the extraction point. But you don't outrun a wolf in his own woods. I cut him off at the river. He froze when he saw the laser dot on his chest. "Who hired you?" I asked. "Blackwood, just a job order," he stammered. I looked at the freezing rapids. "Make it look like an accident," I repeated. I didn't shoot him. I let nature decide. Accidents happen. Dawn came. The shack was ash. I sat watching the smoke, Duke resting his head on my knee. I unfolded the paper one last time. Blackwood Private Security. They came to my home. They tried to kill my dog. This wasn't over. I folded the paper. I wasn't going to wait for them to come back. I was going to pay them a visit.